Sunflowers are a flower that people tend to indulge in and enjoy in when seeing a field of these flowers. This specific flower benefits off of growing from the sun and good soil to produce really tall sunflowers. Besides these flowers being known for growing from the sun, they also have multiple usages such as purple dye for textiles, body painting, and other decorations, as stated by the National Sunflower Association. This portrays that there is so much more to the flower than just being pretty. With that being said, I will now go into detail about how sunflowers came to be, how they grow, and how to take care of them in itself. I'll first begin with explaining about where sunflowers originated from and how they came to be so well known. Sunflowers were first known to be found in North America, specifically New Mexico and Arizona, dating way back to 3000 BC. Sunflowers were also commercialized in Russia, so it had two different locations that it would be found in. Early usages of sunflowers would usually consist of grinding up the seeds into flour to create pastries for sweet items. They were also used and mixed into meals besides vegetables to be consumed with grain. Sunflowers were also used as a great side snack when you were bored. Sunflowers were also used for their pigment and decoration because of the coloration that the sunflower had. Sunflowers were also used as medication because it had a healing ointment that was created from the sunflower, so whenever you would put it on a bite mark, it would heal up the wound. Sunflowers are also known for growing based off the direction of the sun and how much wind there might be. Sunflowers typically turn based on the direction of the sun. Sunflowers can turn at sunrise until the setting sun, and sunflowers turn based on the east at nighttime. So with that being said, with the direction of the sun, that's how the sunflower might turn. So it would go in a whole cycle, and it would go in a total of 180 degrees. The movement of water in the plant causes change in different regions of the plant. The water can cause curvature to the way the plant grows. So typically if there is a good amount of water, or if there's more water, that would cause the sunflower to curve more. But if there was less water, then the sunflower would curve less, which is why if we see it in a field of sunflowers, there might be some curved sunflowers and some non-curved sunflowers. The water also works with the soil for movement, so if there's a healthy amount of water and there's a healthy amount of soil, there would be a healthy amount of movement. But if there's not a healthy amount of water and there's not a healthy amount of soil, then there would be no movement within the sunflower in itself. How to take care of sunflowers. How long does it specifically take for sunflowers to bloom? It takes between 85 to 95 days. That's for a healthy, typically growing sunflower. Sunflowers can also grow up to 16 inches in height and 12 inches in diameter, which is why we see how big the sunflowers usually get. The perfect planting weather for sunflowers usually consists of any time after the spring frost. So this would be make sure that there isn't any snow around so that when you plant your seeds, they would be able to grow and nourish. Any weather above 50 Fahrenheit degrees is perfect for the seed to grow because sunflowers typically are springtime and summertime flowers. The perfect planting weather in the north of the United States is usually April to mid-July. In comparison to the south of the United States, it would be mid-March to early April. So it depends on what area you would live in, which is how you would know the perfect planting weather for your sunflowers. How do we specifically take care of sunflowers? We have to make sure that we have at least 1 to 1.5 inches deep and 6 inches apart for each sunflower so that you have enough space for them. Make sure to give the plants plenty of room to grow apart because if you put them too closely together, then the sunflowers would start choking one another, and that would mean that we wouldn't have no sunflowers growing and it would all be dead. Make sure that you coat the soil with a light layer of fertilizer. So the function of fertilizers usually consists of giving food to the sunflower or whatever plant you're using. So fertilizer is a type of medication that's used on plants and it helps to grow and nurture the flower. How do we specifically take care of sunflowers? Some would say that it would be good to put snail or slug bait around the stem. This would help speed up the time for sunflowers to continue to stay healthy along with being able to grow at a steady rate. Be sure to water around the root area because it would help with the roots growing longer, which is why it's important to have the roots as the healthiest because they are the base in itself. It's also important to feed your plant every once in a while. Be sure to not overfeed your plants because if you overfeed it, then your plant starts dying because of too much consumption of food. With sunflowers being such a popular flower, it is nice to have a great understanding about the plant. Now knowing that sunflowers originated from North America, it brings a great sense of joy because there's easy access to the flower. The direction that the sunflower may be facing is due to where the sun might be pointing, along with the time of day. Taking care of sunflowers might seem tedious and only for the patient-hearted, but the reality is that sunflowers can grow with the right amount of space and sunlight, along with the right amount of love. With all components to taking care of sunflowers down the list, it's now your goal to grow beautiful blooming flowers. Sunflowers are pretty simple to grow out, and with all the information provided about the flowers, it is simplistic to grow them out even in your own backyard. Typically planted as a bundle, there's enough flowers to last everyone because of the height and width, so you have enough flowers to give out to everybody. It is exciting news that more individuals are aware of the basics of sunflowers, along with what it might be to have more information about them. Thank you.